So we're now looking at Satellite Rain. That's a great project from Brisbane, Australia. And let me check their stats where they are right now. It's amazing because their counter of backers it keeps going up. I believe they will be funded. They are at £180,000. They want 350,000, and it's still 23 days to go. They already have 6,092 backers. So let's see what their project is like. We'll play the pre-recorded interview for you now. Hello, Chris.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very good. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. And we experienced a little bit of difficulty with the video from Australia. We hope we get you back moving. For now, we use a still image. It's really amazing to see your backer counter on your project. It's going up. I watched your video, and it's about 4.5 minutes. And next to it, the counter was just, it kept counting. So how do you feel about it? It's a very successful campaign.
Yeah, we're very excited so far. We were the first night when we launched, we weren't expecting really to get anything for maybe an hour or two. But as soon as we hit the launch button, Mike was trying to log on his phone, and before he even connected, we already had our first pledge. So
great.
yeah, so far it's gone really, really well, and we're very excited.
Yeah, so I think the video sort of explains why people are excited. There's an actual reason. I thought we should start running the video so that people who have not checked out your project yet get an impression of it.
Sure.
Wow, this looks awesome.
Thank you.
I keep watching it, and it's really great, really promising. Is that already using graphics from the game engine?
Yeah, everything that you see there was all built and put together in Unity. So we all the lighting, the models, everything, all the animations and everything are all in engine.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So can you describe the project to the audience a little bit more? I mean, we got a visual impression now, but what's the story?
Okay, so Satellite Rain is a real-time class-based strategy game. So it's set in a dystopian cyberpunk future city where, like you saw in the video, mega corporations have taken control, and you're part of a new organization that's rising up to try and take down that corporation. And it's up to you whether or not you're doing it to free the people from oppression, or whether you're doing it to take control for yourself.
Okay. I read that the player gets to play four characters at the same time as a team. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So we've got 4 characters, each with their own unique class, and they'll have their own unique talents and abilities, and you'll need to coordinate them as you play through the game in order to succeed. Okay,
so I assume it's like you have to combine their skills to be successful and figure out what your best strategy is. Can you tell us? Can you tell us a bit more about the implants that the citizens have? And they're mentioned briefly in the video, but I didn't get exactly what do they do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, So with the four characters you've got, there's the four different classes. We have a soldier, a support unit, an assassin, and the hacker. And the hacker's the one that uses those implants on the civilians. So you think in the Matrix how they had all those implants on the back of their heads. Everybody in the
Hmm.
world effectively has one of those, and the hacker can wirelessly hack into the civilians around and take control of them. And once you've done that, you can use them to, if you're going down more the espionage route of gameplay, you can use those civilians then as distractions so that the guards will take a look at the civilians you've got under your control where you can sneak around the back. Or if you went down more of a combat sort of route, you could, give them weapons and then they can run up in front and soak up a whole lot of bullets while you sit behind and fire overhead.
Okay. So it seems like there's a lot of variety and a lot of choice for the player. So there's no given route to success. There are multiple ways of being successful and mastering the game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we want you to have a whole bunch of abilities and skills that you can come at it whichever way you want. If you want to go more towards the combat side of things, you can customize your characters to have bigger and better weapons and more armor, and you can go down that route. Or if you wanted to go down the other side of things, you can give them more espionage type traits, and they can do a lot of sneaking and stealth and that kind of thing.
Okay. But there's always sort of a violent component as well. I kind of remember Deus Ex, where you had the choice of, taking out a surveillance camera instead of shooting the guards, because when you shot the guards, it was loud noise, and the danger was that more guards would show up. So multiple choices there as well. But
Yep.
is violence necessary at some stage?
The world is a very violent world that we're portraying, so there's no real way of getting around some of this violence. I think you can, if you go down more of the espionage route, you can have a lot less, but there's always going to have to be some sort of violence, I think.
Okay. Yeah, the scenario that you're creating, I think the mood the video puts us in is very dark, and it's a mysterious impression of a future that we probably know from Orwell's 1984 in a sense, and that we really want to avoid in real life. We don't know whether we can, but we want to
Yep.
avoid it. Is that the right impression from what you're trying to create there?
Yeah, it's definitely a dystopian future, like 1984 and the Blade Runner films, and obviously the original Syndicate games had a big influence on the direction for us. So we wanted to play with themes of the downtrodden and oppressed people versus the rich and powerful living in the top tiers of the city, and then again with the power, the greed and the cost of obtaining the power. So all those things are really exciting for us to be able to play with.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ideas that we know from one or the other book or film. It seems you put them together in a very nice way. Also, from the graphical impression, it's really great. You design the art, don't you?
Well, I'm the designer for the game, so I'll be worrying more about the interaction of the characters and their stats and their weapons and abilities and stuff like that. So Brent is our level artist, so he's the one who's taking care of the majority of the visuals that you see in that, and Dean is our character artist, so he was taking care of all the characters.
Okay. So you mentioned Syndicate, that sort of puts us in the past, and in your Kickstarter video, Mike Diskett, entitled Programmer Dash Grumpy Old Man, tells us he
Yeah.
started 15 years ago when he still had hair. So first question, is that his real name, or did he make it up to make a reference to the good old past?
No, that's definitely his real name. I'm sure he gets a lot of references to discs, obviously, but no, that is definitely his real name.
Well, he was probably bound to be a developer.
Yeah, probably.
So what's the story with the Syndicate game? Not everybody might be aware of it.
Well, Mike worked on Syndicate Wars obviously 15 years ago. So since then, we really haven't seen a revival of the same genre. So we're hoping that Starlight Rain can be the game that everybody's been waiting for.
Yeah, okay. So you're trying to get the Syndicate fans excited, and obviously, I think that there's a lot of people who probably liked Deus Ex who are likely to check out your game. And the thoughts, I mean, the thoughts behind the game, like big corporations taking over control, bypassing governments, doesn't seem to be unreal because we see some of that. Do you want to send a warning message to Western democratic societies there, or is it just for fun?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we are trying to make a fun game, so we really do want to have, I mean, that's where most of our attention is. But you know, in the meantime, if we can hold the mirror up to society, where this is, as you said, a future that is quite possible. So we would like to, see if we can hold up a mirror to society and get people to think about these themes.
Okay, so what's the story with Five Live Studios? Is that a new formation, or how did it happen?
Yep. So there's the five of us have started the new company to make Satellite Rain. We've been working together for quite a while. Brent and I have been working together for I think over 10 years now. We started working with Mike a few years ago, and I was on a team of two, so it was just me and him working together quite closely. The rest of the guys, we've been working together for I think maybe seven or so years now. So we've become quite a close group and effectively a family of developers. We've been together for so long.
Where are you based?
We're in Brisbane, so we've all been here. I was born in Brisbane, and I've been obviously on holidays and stuff around, but I've always lived here. I think a lot of the other guys are from around Australia. Mike's the only one who's from overseas.
Yeah, I had a conversation with the guys from 8.5-bit. They did interview about our own Kickstarter project with us. And they said that there's a very active game developer community in Brisbane because some of the studios or publishers went bust, and everybody's trying to find a new project. Are you in touch with that community there?
Yeah, well, we're obviously part of it, so we've been we've been part of the developer community here for I think 6 or 7 years. So we've seen a whole lot of the companies. Years ago, there were I think it was a few thousand people in Brisbane. It was effectively the central hub in Australia for where the games industry was. And over the last 5 years, we've seen a lot of companies close down. So that's why we've been. I mean, over the course of the few years, we've been talking about starting up our own company, but now we've actually got the chance to really do it.
Yeah, I mean, creating a game company, having one big title, and then continue having big titles for a decade is a challenge, of course. And not many people have mastered that. We are, in this business for 28 years, which is sort of an exception. But I know what the challenges are, so you have to be flexible in what you're doing.
Yes, it's not an easy career.
No, but it's interesting. But you have to be
very interesting, very enjoyable. Yes,
but you have to be ready for the challenges, I guess. So it's 5 in your team, and is everybody working full time on the game?
At the moment, we're all concentrated on the Kickstarter, obviously. So we're working on like interviews like we're having now, getting on the forums and making sure we're talking to the community, and we've just announced too that Russell Zimmerman will be doing a little novelette for the game, which is very exciting. So we've got a lot of things going on where we're all concentrating on the Kickstarter at the moment. But once we hit that goal, then I think we'll all be in full production.
Yeah, I've talked to quite a few Kickstarter people now, and everybody's saying the same thing. It's an 18 hours a day job, and I know myself. So.
Yeah, wasn't expecting this much work, but it is. There's a lot of work in this.
Yeah, you've got to respond to all your backers, but it's great fun at the same time because they all have great ideas. Some
Yeah.
of them might be not meeting what you have in mind. Some of them are very realistic and stuff where you just go, "Oh, you should have thought about that," you know.
Yeah. No,
So
we're already getting some great ideas from some of the fans out there, so it is very exciting to be talking them straight away.
I think that's really valuable aside from the money aspect. Have you considered supporting the Oculus Rift because it seems it's a world where that might be useful?
We don't have any plans to do so, but I personally am very, very excited about the Oculus Rift and what games can do with it in the future. I know I've already ordered my copy of Star Citizen, so I'm looking forward to getting Oculus Rift when that comes out and playing that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's sort of an obvious question to ask in a 3D scenario. Your Kickstarter, I checked out your Kick track records, and you had a great start with almost £70,000 in the bank on the first day. What do you think helped your campaign the most so far? You said the minute you pushed go, you had your first backer. How did people know about it already?
We put out a very short teaser, I think about a month or 2 months ago now. So we had a few people on newsletters already, but I think before we'd even sent the newsletter out, people had already started pledging. So the press has been really super supportive, and the fans, as I was saying before, are getting on forums and helping to spread the word. So the more that we can keep that up, the better chance we are of hitting our goal and hitting some of those stretch goals.
Yeah, I think it's very likely you will hit a stretch goal because the counter just keeps going. You know, it's amazing when I put you on the list for the interview partners, it was like 4,100 or so, and in the meantime, it's headed for the 6,000 backers.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really
it
great.
is exciting.
It is exciting. Yeah, it's getting like up every minute by a few. Is there a press in particular that spoke high about your project? Is there like a huge rock paper shotgun coverage or something like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, all the press we've had has been extremely positive. But Mike had an interview the other day with the Rock Paper Shotgun guys, and they were obviously very, very excited.
Yeah, it's a triple A project for sure. Thanks for your time, Chris. I wish you the best of luck to reach your funding goal. I think that's just a matter of a few days, maybe. Uh, we'll see what the
That'd be
weekend
great.
brings.
Yeah,
I,
thanks very much for having us.
I certainly hope that the show helps a little bit, even though in your case it will be hard to spot the difference because it just keeps counting
Every
anyway.
little bit helps.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, we've seen, I'm surprised how many backers we have from Australia and New Zealand. Because I'm so proud of it, I'm wearing this here. It has a New Zealand
New
reference
Zealand
on
club.
it. So, but in Germany, people are more conservative. So even we had, I mean, the big five German games magazines gave us good coverage for our Kickstarter project. But it seems that Germans are conservative and don't want to give money to something that might not happen, even though we're very certain that we will do it.
Yep.
But the whole Kickstarter idea is, it seems a bit, yeah, too strange for some people here. But nevertheless, I think the campaign also helps to make a product known in markets where people are more cautious. And when it then ships, you know, they have heard about it and are aware that it is coming. So let's hope we can create some great news stories for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. Bye.
Thank you. See ya.